Welcome back to Lawn Chat with Lawnpro. And in this episode, we'll be looking at weeds and the different types of weeds that you might find in your garden. The first step in setting up a weed maintenance program is to identify the weed correctly. And there are mainly two types of weeds, namely monocots and dicots. I know that these two words sound complicated, so let me try and make it easier to understand differences between the two by looking at a couple of things. Now, the reason why it's important to know exactly what weed you are dealing with is that this will help you to decide on what product to use and what will work best in your garden. Now, there are mainly three things to have a look at to easily identify and distinguish between what is a monocot and what is a dicot.
Firstly, you look at the veins in the plant. If you carefully look at the veins in the leaves of a monocot plant, you will find that the veins run parallel with the main vein or artery in the leaf of the plant. In the case of a dicot, the veins will run in a net-like pattern. You can also count the leaves of the flowers. Monocots will normally have flowers in multiples of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flowers in dicots will have leaves in multiples of 4 or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The roots of the plant will also be able to give you a good indication. When looking at the roots of a monocot, you will find that the roots are usually fibrous. In the case of dicots, tap roots are usually present.
Now, lawns are monocots. That is why at Lawnpro we can use selective herbicides to control broadleaf weeds in between your lawn without actually killing the lawn. On areas like paving where both monocots and dicots are present, for example problem grasses as well as broadleaf weeds, you will then be able to use a non-selective herbicide. Lawnpro will apply as many as 6 different herbicides when visiting a weed-infested lawn to kill off all unwanted plants.
Then we get to the equipment. There are a massive range of options when it comes to weed control equipment. The most common piece of equipment is a normal knapsack. It's easy to use, easy to clean, and cheap to maintain. Then there are micron droplet applicators. These sophisticated pieces of equipment apply higher concentrate herbicides than what you would if you had to use a knapsack or other pump action sprayer. This makes them a lot more efficient, but also a lot riskier to use, especially in windy conditions. On large areas, Lawnpro will make use of equipment such as quad bikes, kitted out with a boom sprayer and pumps. This will save a lot of time. To give you an idea, we will be able to spray an entire rugby field against weeds in less than an hour. There are also other important considerations when planning a weed management plan. Do not water the lawn for 2 days prior to the herbicides being applied and for at least 6 hours after the application. Do not mow the lawn for at least 3 days prior and 3 days after the application. In extreme cases where lots of weeds are seen, it might be a good idea to fertilize the lawn prior to the herbicide application. And repeat applications might be necessary in 4-week intervals.
So as you can see, treating your garden against weeds is not as easy as just picking a product off the shelf and applying it using a watering can. It is important to identify the type of weed and then to pick the right product and then to decide on the right piece of equipment. This will apply to all pests in your home and garden. It is the triangle rule. Pest, product, equipment. And if you're unsure of any of these points in your triangle, you may want to contact a professional to come and help you determine the best way forward to address your issues. Now, as mentioned during our previous episodes, Lawnpro will send a trained representative to your property to do a free evaluation on your lawn and garden to help you to find an effective solution. So simply click on the Learn More button at the end of this episode, or click on the Contact Us button on our Facebook page. Send us your contact details and we will set it up for you. In our next episode, we will look at Lawnpro's complete seasonal maintenance program in more detail. We will look at how the program works and what it consists of as a package. We'll see you then.